Do you guys ever feel that right after you commit to doing something, you want to do it so much less? I was really looking forward to filming this video, and then I announced that I would be filming it, and now I don't want to do it anymore. But anyways, today my dog and me are going to react to some assumptions that you guys have about me, and I'm going to be addressing whether they're true or not. I've divided all the assumptions into 4 categories. There's personal, family, YouTube, and animal-related assumptions, and we're going to do one from each category and go in that order. So let's get started. The first personal assumption that a lot of you have about me is that I'm spoiled, and I would say that this is false. I'm very open to saying that I'm very privileged. I think just having animals, or even having the time to think about owning animals, is a huge luxury. There's so many people that don't even have the ability to provide for their families and don't even know what tomorrow looks like. And the fact that I'm able to own an animal and plan 10 to 15 years into not only my future, but their future is such a huge privilege, and I do acknowledge that. I also feel so grateful that my parents are so supportive of the animal hobby and they allow me to have this many pets in their home. So I would say I'm very privileged, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that I'm spoiled because I am 19 and I work really hard to be able to not only afford the animals that I have, but have the time to take care of them. So I would say that I'm privileged, but not that I'm spoiled. The next family assumption that you guys have about me is that everyone is animal lovers. This one is false. I know it seems that way because I do have quite a few pets, and my parents are obviously supportive of it since it is their home and they're letting me keep them. But in regards to them being animal lovers, that is definitely not true. My parents would not have any of the pets that we have now if it weren't for me. It's just not something that they're passionate about. My parents are very supportive, and if I ever need them to do something for the animals one day, they always do. But in regards to them actually being part of the animal care, even though my parents are supportive and they like the animals that I have, they definitely aren't pet lovers. The next YouTube assumption is that I want to be a full-time YouTuber, and this one is false. I think a lot of people start YouTube with the goal or the dream being to be able to make a full-time income off of it. But for me personally, I started YouTube because I really like animals, and it's really nice to have a community of people that are also passionate about animal care. If you ask anyone that knows me, any conversation I have, I'm always looking to throw in the fact that I have animals and discuss them. But sadly, most people in my real life just don't care very much. So I love having this community on YouTube. That's why I started. And even though I do love my pets, I am also very passionate about my college major, which is applied math and computer science. I think that they're both so interesting. I love the classes that I take, and I think it's such an interesting field. I love to work with artificial intelligence in the future. So I'm very excited for what my corporate life is going to look like, and maybe even doing some more research. I don't want to do YouTube full time. I do love my animals, and I like making videos and that I like talking to you guys, but in regards to actually doing the editing for the videos, it's not something that I particularly enjoy. The next assumption regarding animals is that I'm not going to have all the animals that I have if it wasn't for my channel. This one is honestly false. I think there was a point where I was making videos where I was just very overwhelmed, not because of my animals, but just because of college. And when you're taking care of your animals at the end of the night after a super long day where you've already been awake like 15 hours and you still have homework to do, and I just wanted to film a video just because it helps calm me down. But at the same time, I think it's hard not to portray your frustration. So I do think there's a couple videos where you can tell I'm a little bit frustrated and fed up with the animals, but I do love them so much, and I would have every single animal even if it weren't for my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel because of the animals, not the other way around. The next personal assumption, which is very flattering, is that I'm popular and that I have a lot of friends. This one is also false. I wish it were true, but to be honest, I always used to think the YouTubers I watch are super popular and well-liked, but I don't think super popular people have the time to just sit in front of a camera and film on a weekend night. So I'm definitely not super popular, and I don't have a lot of friends. I'm actually very introverted, and I'm actually really terrible at maintaining friendships. I'm terrible at texting people back in a timely manner, and I often find hanging out to be really overwhelming and I don't enjoy it. So I don't have that many friends. In high school, I think I was pretty popular simply because we went to a very small school and there was only one main group of girls, so I guess I was popular in that sense, but especially in college, I'm not very popular and I don't have a lot of friends. The next family assumption is that I'm an only child. I do have a younger sister and she's really funny. A lot of people assume that she's older than me because she's a lot taller and she's a lot sassier. But yeah, I do have a younger sister. I'm not an only child and she does not have any pets. She hates most of them. The next YouTube assumption is that I love the attention that my channel is getting. And this assumption is actually true. When I made my channel, it's all about animals, and I obviously think that the topics I'm discussing are very important, especially the ones when it comes to rabbits. So in that sense, I'm super excited that more people are watching my videos and hearing what I have to say. But in regards to a lot of the hate and the more negative attention, I obviously don't love it. I also really like when my channel was smaller. It's still really small now compared to most YouTube channels, but it feels really big for me. And I liked when it was smaller because I can remember everyone's usernames and I feel like we could have more thorough conversations in the comments. But now it's really hard to reply to everyone, but I do try my best. And I'm also really happy that the channel is growing and hopefully more people can be exposed to different types of rabbit care. And another assumption about my animals is that I feed my dog. This is my dog. Is that I feed my dog a raw diet. This is false. I really want to feed my dog a raw diet. I truly believe that raw is one of the best diets for pretty much any animal. I mean, if you think about it, like most rabbits eat, like all rabbits eat raw food. But I don't feed my dog a raw diet. Dog nutrition is just very controversial. And for me personally, I think I'd want to take a really thorough dog nutrition course before I dived into feeding raw. There are a lot of great nutrition programs and there's a lot of people that have already done the work and will formulate a diet specific for your dog. But I'm kind of very controlling and I like to be in charge of it myself. And I'd want to know what types of things I would need to change if his weight started to go up or if he has certain deficiencies. So because of everything that goes into it, I haven't fed raw yet. But for anyone that does do it, I highly support you and I think that it's amazing. And I think that in a couple of years, it's going to be a lot more common and a lot less controversial. The third assumption about me personally is that I have a boyfriend. Now, before I answer this one, go in the comments right now, literally right now, and I want you to say whether you guys think I have a boyfriend or not. Okay, this assumption is true. This is my boyfriend right here. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a boyfriend. I've not really been interested in dating or having a boyfriend, so no, I don't have a boyfriend. There's not really much I can say about that. And I don't have a girlfriend either. I don't have a boyfriend. Okay, the third assumption about my family, which a lot of you guys seem to have, is that we're rich. And this assumption is false. I wish we were rich. Again, I think there comes a certain amount of privilege when you're able to have animals and you're able to care for them. So in that sense, I feel like we're very privileged and I feel like we're rich. There's nothing that I really want that I feel like I can't have. So I think rich is really in your mindset. So I feel rich, but in regards to like how society is, I definitely wouldn't say that we're rich. But at the same time, I feel like there's this huge emphasis around like not admitting to the privilege that you have, and especially with wealth status, everyone likes to act like they're lower than they are. I'll be completely honest and upfront to say that I'm so grateful for the life that my parents have provided us. They're immigrants and they've worked so hard in America, and not saying that people who aren't successful is not because they've worked hard. There's a lot of systematic flaws in our country, but my parents, I feel like they've worked so hard and they've been able to give me and my sister such an amazing life, and I never feel nervous about like where I'm gonna live tomorrow or anything like that. So I feel like we live a very comfortable life and I'm so grateful for my parents for doing that. And I'm also making sure to do my part, especially in regards to paying and caring for the animals. I work a lot of jobs. I don't even know how many jobs I work. A lot of people ask about my finances. I think it would be cool to do an entire video on that, especially considering that most people who own animals are like full-time YouTubers and I am not. Just some of the things some of the ways I make money to pay for my animals is I teach dance like maybe 10 hours a week. I'm also an ambassador for my college and I'm also a mentor for students. And I also get some extra money from scholarships, which gets deposited because it's like excess money, which is super nice. So those are the main ways that I make money. Okay, the next YouTube assumption is that I stopped making commentary and critique videos because I was getting a lot of hate for it. This one is actually true. The main reason I stopped is not necessarily because of the hate, but because of the wider audience that they were reaching. I think it's so important as a content creator that you're aware of your influence and you're aware of who is seeing your content. For me, especially as I became a slightly larger channel, and especially with most of my commentary and critique videos being my most popular, I think it's important that I'm not treating it so casually anymore, and I actually do a little bit more effort into make sure what I'm saying has not only factual backing, but actually backing from the person's YouTube channel. So I do take, especially the ones that are more negative critiques, I'm trying to take those a lot more seriously and do a lot more research before I post them. The ones that I posted, I would say that they're well researched and they're well thorough, but a lot of it is my personal opinion, and I'm not really pointing to any specific sources or factual or like specific links to videos. So I want to make sure I'm doing that more, and I really want to come up with a better format for the commentary and critique. I want to make them longer, and I want to include both the positives and the negatives and make it a little bit more in depth, since a lot of the topics that they cover are very broad and in-depth, and there's a lot of different perspectives to share. And also, the most of the YouTubers that I watch regularly that I can do off the top of my head, I've already done. So a lot of people assume that the channels I made commentary and critique on are ones that I don't like. The truth is, they're one of my favorite channels because they're channels that I watch most often that I can easily make a critique video. The third assumption regarding my animals is that all of my animals are from breeders, and I guess I get the contrary that none of my animals are from breeders. All of my animals being from breeders, this assumption is false. My two rabbits are both from breeders. They're both from different breeders because I got them at different times, but they're both from breeders. My dog, he is a rescue dog. We just got him at the local humane society. And then my sugar gliders, I have 4. I used to have 5. 2 of my sugar gliders are from a breeder, and then the rest of them, I had 3 others. The other 3 were rehome situations, and then in May, I lost one of my sugar gliders, who was one of my rehomed gliders, which prompted me to make a video called Shop, Don't Adopt. I highly recommend you guys watch it. I got a lot of controversy for making the video when I did, but I stand by everything that I said, especially after he passed. I think it makes it all so much more relevant when you're buying animals from unknown backgrounds. And
okay, you guys are just stuck with me because my dog is not feeling it,
but when you're adopting animals from unknown backgrounds, you just run the risk of things going wrong, especially internally, and with sugar gliders who are so heavily inbred in America, that I think that's just what happens. So the fourth assumption about me personally is that I am very outspoken. This one is another one that's false. I think I come across very outspoken on YouTube because this is my platform, but in regards to being outspoken in real life, not really. Like I said, I'm pretty introverted, so I'm not just one who's going to go and openly disagree with people. I also don't usually spark controversy in the comments of other people's videos. I just feel like personally that's a little bit rude because every single YouTuber has built their platform and earned their platform, and it's not really my place to go and critique them. I think if they're doing something blatantly wrong, then it's obviously my place to say, and it's almost my duty, and I'm obligated to if someone is caring for an animal so incorrectly. But if it's just things that I personally disagree with and it really has no effect on the animal being taken care of incorrectly, like a lot of my critique videos that I've made, it's not necessarily that the person is doing something wrong, it's just something that I would personally do differently. And in that scenario, I think it makes more sense for me to make a video on my own platform. The last assumption about my family is that I don't like my parents, and this is one that's false. I love my parents. I'm so close to my family, and I think they're definitely the people that I talk to and spend the most time with. I think some people assume this because I have said that I don't free roam permanently because it's not something that my family would enjoy, and I do stand by that. I think having parents that aren't big animal lovers, you do really have to be conscious of the things that you do, because at the end of the day, as important as animals are, and my animals are so important to me, I also think that it's important to respect the fact that this is my parents' house, this is their life more than it's my life. I have the rest of my life to create it to be what I want, but what they're living right now is their life, and they work really hard for it. So I think it's so important to be respectful of that, which is why I don't usually push boundaries for those types of things. Yeah, I do like my parents. I love my parents a lot. Thank you, Mom and Dad. The fourth assumption about me in regards to YouTube is that I delete hate comments. A lot of people have told me to, so no, I still don't delete my hate comments. YouTube automatically puts comments with a lot of swear words in a review section, and sometimes comments go into spam. So if you ever left a comment and you don't see it anymore, that's likely why. The comments that are reviewed, I usually don't do anything about it. I think you can delete them or you can approve them, but I just like to leave it to YouTube's discretion, so I don't mess with that, and I don't delete any hate comments. I feel like my entire channel's platform, or my entire channel was founded on the fact that everyone has the right to speak their opinions. So I think it'd be pretty hypocritical for me to delete comments, but at the same time, I completely understand why other YouTubers might do it. It's just not something that I want to do personally. And the last assumption about my animals is that I don't want any more pets. This is kind of true. I take getting a new animal very, very seriously, and it's not like I'm in a constant state of wanting new animals. I feel like that's kind of very greedy. For me, more than wanting new animals, I'm always looking to do more for the animals that I have. Every time I get a new animal, I actually feel a little bit guilty, and I don't get a new animal until I feel I'm caring for my current pets at the highest level. So I don't want any more pets currently. I might in the future. I'm always researching new animals, and I'm always trying to connect with new breeders and people that own different species, because I just think it's so interesting. But I think animals come with a lot more cons than they do pros. Every time I see an animal and I think that they're beautiful and they're amazing, I think it's almost more fun for me just to watch it and have someone else do all the hard work, because then I get all the joy without having to do any of the effort. So that's what I enjoy for the most part. But there are some animals that I obviously do enjoy keeping, and I think owning them is very different than watching them through a screen. So I like to do a mixture of both, but currently I don't want any new pets, and I'm very happy with the ones that I have. So those were all the assumptions about me. I also wanted to give you guys an impromptu room tour, because I get so many requests for me to do more personal videos, and I thought it'd be really fun. So this is my room. I'm sorry to disappoint, but I don't have any animals or animal related things in my room. That's mainly because I have really terrible allergies, so it just works better for me to have them in a separate space than where I sleep. The first thing in my room is this big dresser area, and on top is this TV. I just got it and I haven't even used it yet, but I really like it so far. Then over next, hi, that's me. There's a window. I made some DIY clay pottery pieces from TikTok, and I think they turned out really cool. I also have my bed here, and I like my bed a lot. I think it's really pretty. I'm finally happy with the colors and the bed scheme. And there's my laptop, and there's my little doggy. And then over here,
Face reveal.
I just got this hat yesterday, and I don't know where to put it. If you guys have hats, let me know where you guys keep them. So right now, just on top of a lamp. I have a desk. I have my makeup stuff. And then I have more makeup and hair stuff. I have my closet, and this is my favorite thing in my room. It's this little elephant washing basket, and I love it. There's my room. I don't use it too much for the rabbits, but I do let the sugar gliders free roam in here a lot, especially if I'm doing some homework and I don't feel like being in the animal room. Everything is completely safe, and it's really convenient that all the furniture is above the floor, because they can't really get behind anything that they're not supposed to. So that was my assumptions video. If there's anything else that you guys want answered, just let me know and I'll answer it down below. And if you guys have any questions, I am doing a separate Q&A. Leave those in the Q&A tab of the community post, because that's the only place where I'll be answering questions from. Okay, bye.